I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in prayer. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, as we come to you tonight, excuse me, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the many blessings you've given us. We pray, dear God, to be with each of us tonight as we represent the members of our city. We pray, dear God, that we conduct ourselves in a proper manner, and all these things we ask you for and thank you for in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Amen. Have a seat.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened.
Sharon didn't focus you. First, we'll see if I got the minutes from the 4/15 and 24 meeting. Does anybody see any issues or corrections that need to be made? If not, I would look for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as written.
Do I have a second? All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Right, next, the bills paid in April. Anybody got any questions on the bills paid last month?
Move to pay our bills,
I got a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. All right, next, we got the fire department report, and we'll let Chief or Assistant Chief go over them, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the motion or the agenda there.
Alright. For the month of April, we had a total of 11 runs, 4 of which were city calls, 7 were county calls. And that 11, 5 of them were landing zones. 1 vehicle fire, which we used 500 gallons of water. 1 grass fire, which we used 1,000 gallons of water. 1 vehicle accident, 1 gas leak, 1 lift assist, and 1 that we were signal 9 en route to.
All right. And first responder, looks like 1 city and 2 counties first responder calls.
I believe that's right.
All right, looks like, I don't know, we need to elaborate on this before we start into this. You know, y'all met with the rep today.
Right. Well, yeah, a little bit.
So is this motion here won't be verbatim depending on what we talk about now. Kevin, if you want to explain to it, the sales rep from Safeco,
Safe Industries.
Safe Industries, came by today and met with Kevin and Jimmy. I'm not sure who all else, I didn't make it. But I think pretty much the rundown is that there's 15 years on the air packs and bottles regardless, I know even on the dates, for the stagger. The reps seemed very promising that if we applied for this fire marshal grant, we would get it, and we could put all the bottles, all the air packs, the suppression system, or the cascade system, turnouts, whatever it was we want to put in there, and felt like we would guarantee to get some of it. Kevin kind of still wants the 8 air packs with 16 bottles.
The way he explained it today, the state fire marshal grant, there's $10 million in that grant that is spread out from East Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, and West Tennessee. So each region gets a little over 3.3 million apiece. Seeing as how we have never applied for this, and this grant has just come about in the last 3 years. So that's why we've never applied for it. He said it's a pretty much given guarantee that you will get something out of it. You may not get the full amount that you asked for. But if you put it all in there, if we ask for all 16 packs plus the cascade system, $265,000, plus new turnouts at $65,000, and any other equipment we need, if you ask $350,000, you're liable to get $225,000 of it. He said, but you're gonna get money. And the way he explained the air packs today, if we buy 8 air packs now, get 4 on this year's budget, and we get the bill on the other 4 in August, which will come on next year's budget. When you apply for this state fire marshal grant, put in for the other, you put in for all 16 air packs, 16 spare bottles, you put in for everything, cascade system and all, and it'll be covered. City saves anywhere from $90,000 to $140,000.
He's gonna hold the bill for the
Yes,
August.
for the first 4 air packs, we'll get a bill on it this budget. But he won't give out a bill on the other 4 till August, which will come on next year's budget. And then after November, when you file for the grant, whatever money we get, you finish out buying air packs plus the cascade system, turnout, whatever we gotta have. He does the grant for Lawrenceburg. He's on the fire department up there. He's got it 3 years in a row. Ain't supposed to get it 1 every other year. He's got it 3. He's gonna skip this year and reapply for next year.
And he can help us write the grant.
And he'll come there and help us write it, get it all laid out. And he guaranteed we was gonna get something out of it, and it would be a substantial amount.
And it's gonna
Remind me
give
of what we voted in September, in February. I know
25% be 4 air pack, 4 face masks, backpacks, 8 bottles, charger and batteries, and plus the cascade system.
Okay.
So that was the cascade system and 25% of the total air pack and spare bottle order for all 16 firefighters.
Okay.
So it's not gonna make us get any more grant I mean, we can do what we're planning to do right here, what we talked about. Get 4 with 4 spare bottles and the batteries and get them right away. And then get the other 4 in January. It won't affect the grant. Getting them earlier don't make the grant more or less.
Right.
no.
You just getting the other 4 air packs 4 months earlier.
Yeah, well, that was part of the purpose of us waiting to January, so they wouldn't all be in the same year that they need to be replaced.
But it don't make any difference, because 15-year lifespan is all you've got. They warranty the air pack and the bottles for 15 years. Anything after 15 years, you have to replace it.
So the 4 we get this year will be warranted for 15 years, and the 4 we get, or 8 bottles that we get in the next budget year will be a year longer before we need to replace them. That was the whole purpose of
Staggered.
staggering
Right.
them out over 4 years, so they don't all come to you, or a huge amount of them come to you in 1 year.
I did learn that it's based on the hydro testing, not the date you purchased the bombs. Also.
So if
But it's
these are
not gonna
hydro tested this year and we wait to get 4 or 8 more in January, they'd be the next year testing, you would think.
They hydro test them right before they ship them, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So that's the purpose of
Of
why
staggered.
we did it staggered, so not necessarily for right now, but for from now on, that you get 4 packs and 8 bottles this year, and then next year 4 packs and 8 bottles, and next year and the next year.
Kim, did he say roughly, I mean, I know you said he said we'd definitely get something, did he say what he felt like the minimum would be?
He did not. But he did say that if you apply for everything we applied for, if it equaled out to be $300,000,
Right, I got
you're
that.
guaranteed to get at least 220, 225.
Yeah, I got that, I did not see, so the 225 would be what he thought
They
would be minimum.
base it off of a point system, and the point system is made up of your paperwork, your training, what equipment you've already got. It's a lot of, and it goes before committee. So seeing as how we're a first time applying for this, if all our paperwork and everything is in order, he sees no reason why we can't get what we asked for.
And part of the reasoning with going with it, the whole order like this year, is because they're anticipating a $2,500 to $4,000 increase. Their standards are changing, there's something about
In the next
Bluetooth.
year.
And, with Bluetooth and a heads-up display, they're gonna be added on next year.
I thought we were getting a heads up display on these.
Yeah. I did.
We're getting a heads up display, but you're not getting the Bluetooth, we're not getting all that high tech stuff that he was telling Jimmy about. We're getting basic.
Like percentage of the air that's left, or how much time you got left, the temperature, the ambient temperature around you, and it was, I won't say it was something else. It was a couple things that it did show you, it just didn't give you all the
The
details.
ones we're
like
getting now, basically got a 4 light system in it, color coded green, yellow, something in red. Basically it tells you this is so much percentage of air you got at 100% green, and then goes down to yellow, and then another color, and then red. So basically 25% increments of the lights. You can see when you put the mask on at full 100%, and then they just start dropping as you consume air. So there's a lot of things changing that what he told us coming up. OSHA's getting involved with all this, that basically NAFCO's not gonna be a suggestion, it's gonna be a rule.
NFPA standards.
NFPA standards.
Anymore, it'd be a law.
Basically saying that if you got a truck out of date, it ain't up to you to sell it. If you're gonna sell it, they're gonna start shipping fire trucks overseas to get them out of the country, so they can't be sold to other fire departments that are underfunded. Like if we, ideally, our old air packs, we would say, let's sell them to them and let them, well, no, that ain't gonna happen. After OSHA kicks in, they're gonna say, no, you're gonna discard them.
Somewhere like Grand Valley Fire Department that don't get.
Right,
Like
where
don't
we
have tax-based funding. Like
Right, where we would be nice and be like, hey, we don't need this no more, y'all use it, they're gonna stop that stuff. And that's coming, that's on the board meetings already, they said that's going into effect, so.
But originally what this was wrote down, you know, it was 25% was what we, the board approved. The first purchase was, without the cascade system, was gonna be a little more, $800 to $1,000 more than 25%. But it was more of a David Jones issue than any other issue. But I said, if y'all wanna talk about what Kevin's proposing, or do you wanna stick to the motion, either way.
There was another thing, we talked about the sole source.
Yeah.
They are a sole source company because they are the only company in the state of Tennessee that sells it.
Yeah.
So there's no bidding against them because there's nobody to bid.
Yeah.
That's the reason they come up with sole source.
That letter's included in those packages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that way we're not having to bid them out and take the bids from the other. All right, so, you know, I feel like we're gonna keep it the way we had it, but with just a little bit of a change as far as, I think it's $800 difference. Is that right? Cause it was only 4 batteries. No, the way we had the motion originally, we had it for 25% of the original purchase
Right.
plus the cassette. It wasn't 25%, it was like 27, 28%.
Oh, okay.
So we just wanted that to be right, was the reason it was broke down, but this was written before they met today. So if y'all wanna take that into consideration, or, you know, either way, like I said, the staggering it to me was a good idea because they'll be going out in multiple years.
Right.
Instead of going out all at once. Instead of, which these bottles were $1,200 a piece, and you're looking at 16 bottles, that's $19,200, I think, roughly. Real close.
Besides the 4 air pack, 8 air packs.
Yes, well, they have, you know, they're 15 years as well.
I know.
So it would be all those again, so roughly, you know, another $120 some odd thousand, I
When
guess.
this comes up again, though, I'm thinking, that grant should be out there where it has not been before.
If the new governor by then wants to keep it up.
We're at 15 years from now.
Yeah, because you know, right now the budget is really healthy and he's really big on putting stuff into stuff like this. The new governor may not be,
Right.
you know, you don't never know.
Now, what are we
It's
waiting
like a
on
new
to apply
president.
for this grant?
November,
No,
Okay, why? are we
For the-
waiting?
because it's the only time it comes open.
Oh, okay.
It opens the 1st of November, closes the end of December, and they award everything. They'll start awarding in January, you'll get your money in March.
But he talked a lot about liability and all this morning, and, you know, with these old tanks.
Well, he's a salesman. I ain't never met a salesman that didn't want to sell me something. That's just the truth of the matter of
And
it.
he is a fireman though also.
Yeah,
Well, I like the idea of the grant myself, I mean, I just don't know.
we still gonna apply for it.
Right.
Either
I
way.
understand that, but it's-
Okay, we're gonna get something for the fire department. We have to make a decision, some change that made today or this. Is that
Yes,
correct?
either going with 8 air packs and 16 bottles, or stick with the 4 and the 8. Only thing we'd have to change was the dollar amount because it's a little bit higher than the 25%. just for a county.
Did I make that February motion, Jimmy? Or do you remember who made the motion and seconded it? We'll have to.
I remember Bo talking it.
What do you
Explain
mean?
that to me, cause I wasn't 100% sure. Yeah.
You know, and the 4 month difference in there from August to January is not gonna make that big of an impact on the data them going out, period. It's not gonna affect it.
We don't know if it will or not. It depends on which stamp this year or last year.
Well, when they hydro test them right before they ship them is when they'll be dated.
Yeah, so if we wait till January, February, and they're stamped that year, that's a year difference from the one we're gonna get
But
this year.
there's 4 months difference. That's all you're
I
missing.
get
is
it, 4
that-
months, but if they're just stamped as a year, it's still a year.
But you're not losing but 4 months of that.
Will one of those months be in this fiscal year and the next one will be in the next fiscal year?
The bottles that you get, I can go there and pull one off the truck right now. And it's gonna have 3 dates on it. It's gonna have the manufacturer's date, which is the date that they made that bottle. It's gonna have another date beside it when they first hydro tested it. It's gonna be another date on it 5 years later where they hydroed it again. And that's where the new bottles will be. It'll be a date on it that they made it.
But that's
January
irrelevant,
1.
right, from what you're saying. It's the
Right, January
first
1,
hydro test.
2023 is when they made this bottle.
But I agree
We
with what I was
buy
saying.
the bottle in August, you get a hydro date of August 2023,
So it's good 15 years from there.
15 years from there.
So we buy them in January, they'll hydro test them in January, they'll say January 25.
And
Or
you
January the 8th or whatever.
They had to be hydroed every 5 years
Yeah.
From that date.
from
Yeah.
that date. Not the manufacturer's date, but the hydro date.
So they'd only be hydros twice, right? Because it's the third time they
The
get
third
sold
time
away.
it phases out, it's gone.
No fourth time.
No third.
No fourth, no fourth time.
Fourth, yeah.
You get your first hydro test, you get it when you buy the bottle.
And you test
5
it
years
two
later, you get the second hydro. 5 years later, you get the third hydro. That's your 15 years, no more.
Yeah.
But I meant there'd still be good beyond that. I mean, within reason, but they just couldn't be hydro tested again.
That's where the liability comes in.
Yeah.
Anything every 15 years that has not been hydroed and somebody gets hurt with that air pack on their back with that bottle that hadn't been hydroed, it's a lawsuit.
Well, we've been working on this several months. Don't y'all think we need to get this worked out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get it all
We
clear.
had it worked out till this point.
Well, like I said, we can make the motion as written here, and like I said, that keeps it the way it's been, 25%, other than the $800 cost increase, because it's not a true 25%. Because there was odd numbers of batteries, like spare batteries, so we couldn't spread them out over the 4 years. So it was gonna be more this year than it will be the next 3, 5, 8.
So from the original motion,
We made it at 25%.
And it's went up $800.
No, it hadn't went up, but instead of 25%, it's $42,360.
All right, I was trying to figure out where
Charging
$800.
a one-time charge.
I was
Yes.
trying to figure out where the $800 came from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's batteries, it's 2 batteries and a charger.
Okay.
I believe that's right, ain't that right, Brad?
Okay, so if we go with what we've got here, then Kevin, when can you order the next ones?
January. Or well, they can be here in January. We can order them whenever, as long as they don't get the, as long as we don't take receipt of them until January, then they're good.
Okay, and who's supposed to order them, you or you?
Now, if we do wait, possibly looking at $2,500 to $4,000 increase.
Well,
Yeah.
we can order them, the second batch, and tell them we don't want them to so-and-so, but get them at the
I
price.
don't know if that'll work.
Oh, they want to sell.
We'll
I
get them.
promise.
We'll get them if he orders 8 air packs. Okay.
Uh-huh.
He'll bill us for 4 of them
Right now.
right now.
Right away.
Right now.
Okay.
The next 4, we'll get all 8 of them at the same time, but we won't get the bill on the last 4 till August.
So every one of them will
Which
be
comes on the
dated next month.
But then at the same time, when those 8 expire, they're all 8
What's-
expire.
But they're
It'd
able
be
to-
16. really, 16 bottles. Will
Instead
expire
of us
at the same time.
staggering them like we
And,
originally.
and the 8 air packs, they're saying 8 air packs are 15-year time stamp, just like the bottles. Or the face masks and backpacks are stamped 15 years too. So in 15 years, we're gonna have to buy 4 more.
That's what I'm saying.
Or 4 more backpacks and 8 more bottles, or we're gonna have to buy 8 more backpacks and 16
See,
more
we were
bottles,
trying
depending
to
on the
avoid that
decision.
the first time. We're trying to avoid putting all that on the next council, whoever has to deal with it 15 more years.
Yeah,
Having to buy all of them all at once.
yep.
And right now, we're in pretty good shape, we don't know how it's gonna be.
Yeah, just like this grant, this year, this grant might be the saving grace and pay for every bit of it. But in 15 years, who knows?
Okay.
What can you tell me has been consistent over the last 15 years?
Exactly.
That's my thoughts on
And
it.
if we're looking at the prices now, I mean, in 15 years, they'll probably triple these
They're
prices.
gonna go up every year.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, so I mean, we're looking at, no telling what they'll have to spend for 8 air packs, 15 more years or whatever.
Yeah, which is the
8
backpacks,
bottles and packs and masks and
because
everything.
right now it's 4 backpacks and face masks and 8 bottles, the way the motion is written.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll make a motion to, buy what we got outlined here in number 4.
For a total cost of $42,360.
Yeah,
That's,
for
it's
a
not
total cost of
25.
That's what we originally.
Yes.
Roughly, yes.
Except that we made the motion for 25% and it wasn't a true 25.
Right, yeah,
That's the only
I
thing
got you on
that
that,
this
yeah.
one's changing. It was, like I said, a couple $100 more than what 25% really was.
Yeah, okay.
So,
That's where the $800 comes in.
yes,
Okay.
so I got a motion
I'll-
What's the
Second.
motion?
Then we buy what we got outlined.
that we've already bought what we
4 packs,
approved.
8 bottles, every how many batteries and a charger.
Yeah. We're still in that
And
cash.
then-
Two spare
And then
batteries
the
and a charger.
next calendar year, for the next 3 calendar years, we'll buy 4%.
You may mention the Cascade system.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what we gonna buy that?
Hang on a minute, the Cascade system is more or less, I've got a Cascade system now, I've got 4 bottles sitting up there that I can load in the back of my truck, carry the bottle and half the fill.
Right.
When I get them filled up, I can fill every bottle I've got twice. I have to load them bottles up, carry them back to the bottle. The 16 bottles that I'm getting now can be done the exact same way. I can load them up, carry the bottle or wallet and have them filled without the Cascade system. Without an air compressor, I can have 4 bottles just like I've got now that fill the new bottles, and I can load them up, carry them a bottle or wallet and have them filled. So you got a $52,000 cost there on a Cascade system that we do not have to purchase at this time. Plain and simple, I mean, that's $52,000 that you
It's
saved
not in
right
this
there.
motion.
Hopefully
Yeah,
never will.
we're not addressing that in this
Yeah.
motion.
Yeah.
I just heard us talking about it, I forgot.
But it will be brought up when we apply
Get the
for
grant, yeah.
the grant.
Yeah.
Or apply the grant.
We're
Yeah, 'cause if they're gonna pay for it, of course we'll take
Right,
it.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you that.
I agree.
But the Cascade system is, it don't have anything to do with my backpacks right now.
Right, okay.
So we have a motion and a second.
Yeah, any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. All right, next, there's also a desire to have new internet service at the fire department. Jimmy and Kevin spoke with Ronnie Simpson in regard to this service. At this time, it would be good to have internet established at the community center and police department also. Ronnie's thinking the cost will be approximately $1,800 for point-to-point modules, radio, routers, and labor. An additional cost may be if a lift is brought in to attach radio higher, to attach the radio higher on the tower. Estimated cost of lift for a day being $250 after installation here would be not monthly fees. No monthly fees.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to give you in those minutes. Yes, no monthly fees. So what do y'all feel, how y'all feel about internet at the police department?
Do we have internet
community
now?
center? Not at the police department or the community center. But is there one at the fire department? Y'all have Wi-Fi or internet?
Mm,
We had crossroads.
yeah,
Yeah, we ain't got no more.
yeah.
Is that on Tippa? Can we not get it through Tippa?
Tip
That's
connection.
what we're gonna be doing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But
We're
if
just
we
talking
can
about
broadcast
outfitting
it
all
from
that.
here to there, we only have to pay for it once. Maybe Tippah don't watch our meetings.
There'll be no monthly fees.
Yes.
No addition.
No addition, because we're already paying for it. But we can shoot that signal to the community center and the police department and fire department with these radios. As long as we get it high enough on this tower out here, it's just like having Wi-Fi from here to there.
So do we need to approve that, or that's under the,
If that's something y'all are interested in doing,
that's under the threshold?
yeah. $1,800 is, yeah. If y'all are okay with it. I mean,
Sounds fine with me.
all right,
This day and age, everybody turns.
If we got it in this building, if we don't, do it next year.
that's it. All right, well, I guess that's it on the fire department. Next, we
I got one
got,
little thing, I went up there, Brandon said something about some, water going in the building, I went up there and looked around. I talked with Terry just a little bit, I think, we can do just a little bit of ditching around the building, we built up with gravel so much that it's forcing water toward the building instead of letting it drain away. It won't be no big deal, just take a little grading or ditching one or the other,
yeah.
I think.
When did you look
We
at
have
it?
tried that once before.
So we ditched around next to the building, but it ain't,
Yeah, it's gonna be deeper than the other place.
yeah.
When did you look at it, Bill?
2 weeks ago maybe.
So Thursday night, we went ahead and did the ditch around the building deeper and added more bigger culverts in front of the walk-in door. Cleaned it all out, we cleaned the gutters out, and come the rain Friday or Saturday.
Against the building.
Yeah, we built it up against the building and made the ditch deeper around that front side of the building. Come the big rain Friday or Saturday, whatever it was, Saturday, water's still getting in the building.
And the roll-up door, walk-through door.
Well, it's coming in through the walls.
Through the
Where
wall.
the south bays in the original building
Yeah.
were built, there's a gap probably that wide between the concrete, crawfish come up through it. So every time it rains, it's running between the two slabs and coming up through the floor.
Yeah.
But it's also coming through the walk-through door at the office, running, it's flooding the office, running straight across the floor. We done knocked holes in the block wall to let the water out.
Yeah,
We will look at that a little more.
yeah. Is that some of it, because it's gravel over top of that culvert right up to the door? Wouldn't matter if it was great?
I think the only way that you'll fix it is to French drain the entire building, all the way around.
Well,
Bring the parking lot down about 2
That-
inches below the door level.
what's that gonna do with fire trucks traveling across the door? French drain.
Well, that'd be where you'd have to put in concrete and then a French drain grate over top of it, thick enough to hold the weight of the fire
Does
truck.
that building deserve?
But really and truly, you ain't got nothing to worry about fire trucks, cause they come out the end of the building, they ain't got a problem in the building.
South end of the building.
Those
What do you say?
trucks face going
Is
out.
that building out there actually good enough to deserve all this work? I mean, maybe we ought to be looking at
Did
something.
we put gutters on?
Oh, you did?
We did put gutters
We
on.
put gutters and we cleaned those out, cause they were full of leaves and everything with it being around the woods, so we cleaned all the gutters out and got water flowing through them like it's supposed to be, made sure none of the downpipes were clogged or anything, they're all open and flowing water out, so. It's just, the building was built in a hole and you can't really do much about it.
You can't dig a hole in a hole.
You can take a dozer and go up there and dig down 10 inches and make the building where it's up on higher ground, but it's a lot of scraping off to get it down, so. I mean, you got ground that's higher than the building, and of course, all that water's just gonna run straight down into the building.
And if that water tower ever overflows, and it's done it numerous times, it's 2 inches of water all the way through that building.
My concern is what's it doing behind the walls? It's gonna just start rotting and molding and everything else, so.
We're gonna look at it again.
One question I do have, the white Camaro that's on the north side of the building over there, does the city own that now? I'm assuming since we let it burn.
That's a police question.
It's not owned by the city, no.
It's not. The reason I asked, some of our firefighters would like to use it for training. Can't do it. Okay. All right.
All right, next we got the, excuse me, utility report. Or no, I'm sorry, police report. I'm trying to skip.
Good evening. I'm gonna cover the police report for April 2024. Complaints and activities, 266. Adult arrest, 4. Juvenile arrest, 0. Drug arrest, 1. Traffic citations issued, 16. Traffic warnings, 13. Motorist assist, 3. Vehicle lockout assist, 5. Other public assistance, 40. Crash reports, 4. Alarm calls, 3. And city assist, county assist, 21. On the patrol vehicles, the Ford Explorer, we are starting to put quite a bit of money into the Ford Explorer. In the last 2 months, we've had front end shocks, ball joints, coil springs, inner tie rods, outer tie rods, struts, and sway bar. And that was the first month, and we just got it out of the shop Friday for motor mounts, transmission mount, axle, front end alignment, and it still needs 2 new front tires. That's the Explorer. That's really the newest vehicle that we have. Actually, we purchased two Tahoes 2 years ago this month, and we paid $28,000 for the 2 Tahoes. They're in good shape, or good, good working shape. The Crown Vic, which is vehicle 404, transmission has went completely out in it. We did hire a part-time. He drove it about 3 nights, and the transmission went out in it. So we're kind of struggling on vehicles at this time. The Tahoes, like I said, they're in good shape. We're using the Ford the Expedition, which has no cage in it. I put a radio out of one of the other vehicles into it to use it so we can just get to the shift. That's what I got the part-timer in at this time. So we're struggling on the vehicles at this time, but I'll touch on that just a little further. Let me go ahead and get the year-to-date citation. Year-to-date citation revenue is $17,201. Year-to-date drug fund, there's nothing listed there. And the year-to-date county funds $288.80. Month of April, we did finish the food distribution. We increased the traffic control on Main Street there by the Sasser Garage. And to be totally honest, we're not really getting much over 45 miles an hour. That's the speed zone in that area. But we did increase it, and mainly we had more warnings because it did reach the threshold of us writing citations in that area. And just so the board know, May the 27th is Memorial Day. We're having a program out front here at the wall, and Senator Paige Watt will be our guest speaker, so in case y'all want to come up. And as far as vehicles, what I spoke with the mayor, spoke with Jimmy, and I'm wanting to purchase 2 more used patrol units so we can start to phase out all the other vehicles that we have. The Crown Vic, want to surplus it, and we do have Crown Vics at the well yard that we can pull a transmission out of and get the Crown Vic back on the road. But the quote I had for replacing transmission would be $900. And so that would be to pull the transmission, and to install the transmission. So that's what Corey gave me a quote on, about he would do it for about $900. So I would like permission to start a search for 2 new units.
Yeah,
I would do the same thing I did before. I would search and try to find us some good units that
not yet.
is serviceable and that we can put on the road.
We talked about running a general ad, because we gotta bid it, you know, in the newspaper. So we've broadened our horizons. Instead of running for exactly a 2017 Tahoe with less than so many miles, we do a 2012 to a 2024 Tahoe fully loaded with the police pack. We know everything that we need, like these Tahoes did.
Right.
Cage, you know, lights, everything that's just less of a cost that we have to put into it if they're already to go. We got the Tahoes on a pretty good deal, and they've been pretty good rides. I mean, they come with everything they needed. We stuck a radio in them and put them right on the road to patrol. Like I said, touching on that year-to-date city citation revenue, I mean, that ought to pay for one of them by itself.
Yeah.
I've never seen that number with the decimal moved one place, let alone, you know, I don't think I've ever seen 1,700, let alone
I
17,000.
think we think Ed Avery for that one.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not pushing them to write tickets either. You know, I'm not. And I do like people slowing down. I like people to know, hey, I'm gonna get a ticket.
I know we don't know an amount, but can we give chief permission to, I mean, up to, or we need to wait, is that putting the cart before the horse, or?
Well, how long you think?
How,
Yeah, I mean, before, we gotta run an ad, so that's gonna be at least, what, 2 weeks? Do we have to run it 2 weeks?
we kinda, talked about it a little bit, and if we have to, we can push it past the next budget year. But we would like to start searching immediately.
Yeah, yeah. Say,
Question, isn't there some place we can buy vehicles,
new
where
one,
we don't always own new
or
ones?
from government.
Yeah, from the government, we
But
find
this,
something there,
The Chicago place that we got these others,
it's not.
it's not, no, it's not a government entity.
Never mind.
They buy from auctions like Memphis PD, which these come from Baton Rouge, somewhere in Louisiana.
Louisiana, but they come through Chicago.
Yeah, but they come through the Chicago motor, Chicago something,
Chicago Motors.
yeah.
Now, how would that work, since we're gonna put an ad in the paper, can we still?
Well, he knows about what he wants.
I know,
right?
that's what I'm saying.
So we can run that ad for pretty much covering everything that he would want. Like I said, from a 10-year range on dates, you know, a rough estimate on mileage, but it's gotta be, you know, the police package or whatever,
Right,
it's got
exactly,
everything in it.
After you find something and you can have them hold it for us? or
No, they don't, well, that's the thing, is with this place, they turn over every
That's why
week.
we gotta give the range in there.
Well, that's
So-
what I wouldn't mind, I mean, I realize there are a lot of variables, I understand that, but, I mean, for him to have permission to
Yeah.
pursue his, I mean, I would like to make a motion, I don't know how I need to word it, I understand it might be a gray area, but.
Up
can we-
to 2 vehicles, up to a total amount of X dollars.
What do you
Let's
think?
say-
Well, the last two, like I said, we spent 28,690 on the last two. I believe.
Probably a little bit higher right now.
Confident we can do in that range.
30,
We talked
35?
about- We talked about maybe 25 to 30,000, we should be able
Let's go
to
for
do that.
Well, I'll make
Yeah.
a motion under his directive and judgment, Chief Arnett finds whatever he likes. I'm gonna make a motion 35,000 maximum, so that we're sure we're covered.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we definitely need,
To get two.
to get two, yes, sir.
2
35,000 for the two, yes, sir. To meet his qualifications or specifications, whatever would be best on that toward,
You don't have to spend that much.
If
I'll
it's,
say
if it's any, the board did approve 38,000 before. We
Yeah, for the
spent
F-150.
20,000.
Yeah, well, I don't mind going,
So-
you want me to go?
No, that was on
No,
one
no,
brand new
no.
pickup truck.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah, I hate me.
that truck wasn't worth it, $38,000.
So we got a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Is there any other discussion? You got any clarification or you need for the minutes?
Just basically up to 35.
Yep.
Got two vehicles for the spec.
All right,
Reminder, we'll have to amend the capital budget before the end of the night. And upcoming.
If
Yeah.
we do it before in this budget year pass, if we do it pass, we won't have to amend, correct?
if we do it before, we'll still have to amend it either way, right?
Well, we're already amending, but we'll have to amend next year's, if
Yeah.
it rolls into next year.
Okay. All right, well, all in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed? That's it. Next, we got the utility report. I'll hit the high spots on it. We had 6 meters installed. 4 of them were replaced, residential meters.
Six.
What's what's this out here, 417 to replace residential, okay, so they replaced the 6, that was the date, I'm sorry. 2 complaints, 4 flush hydrants, 2 lift station issues, and while we're talking about lift station issues, I had, what was that company that came in,
Mid-South.
Mid-South came in and cleaned the, lift station behind the gathering. We've had nothing but trouble out of it, it's the one that backed up in the house, they're closed. I mean, almost every day I come through there in the morning and the light's on, that it's not pumping or it's over full. And, so, we were looking at having another company that come in, it was BAM that come in and put the new pumps in the lagoon. And I'm like, no, let's wait, yeah, there's some other stuff we could do, I want it clean first. Pumped all the way down to the bottom, let's see it, how much sludge is in it. If there's 3 feet of sludge, could be the problem, it's, they were thinking the pipes were too close to the bottom of it, causing it to suck sludge or whatever, and not have enough space to pull the fluid down because of all the sludge at the bottom. Well, once they pumped it down clean, I was out there with them, it was 2x4s in this lift station. They'd been there a while, but what was happening, there's 2 pipes, there's 2 pumps on the lift station that go all the way down to the bottom, this far off the very bottom of the well. It was laying perfectly between, in line with the 2 pipes. So every time they kicked on, it sucked this 2x4 right up to them pipes and was limiting 75% of the opening on the pipes that pull the sewage out of the wet well, which was causing it to trip it, to trip it out, and it would cut off. And then the lights, once it filled up, the float switch kicked the light on, So we've got those out and have not had a minute's trouble out of it since. So hopefully,
What were they doing with that?
we don't know. It was several pieces. It wasn't just one. It was probably a half dozen pieces. But Shotty thinks it might have been when they were building the well. I don't know, the wet well. I have no clue. They were old. I mean, they were solid. I mean, they were soaked. They'd waterlogged, I guess would be the correct term, but.
Sewage line.
Yeah, sewage logged. But that made me feel a whole lot better about not letting BAM come out there and pull those pumps and put new pipes in.
That's good.
So,
Catch on that one.
it was, would it be in this month or was that last month? I don't remember if it was in this month's pay bills, the ones we just approved, or,
I don't know if it'll be next month.
okay, yeah. So y'all will see that, a charge for that in next month's bills paid.
Wasn't bad at all though.
No, not near what it was gonna cost just to have them either pull them pumps and cut the pipes off shorter or replace them with PVC. And we didn't have to do any of that once they just pumped it out. We had a treble hook and a piece of rope there, and we were fishing them out of the bottom of that thing like it wasn't nothing. And the last piece, we couldn't get it out, so we had to let it fill up, and then we could get a hold of it, because it was so heavy, that little treble hook just wouldn't hold on to it. I mean, it's 2x4 this long, probably weighed 30 pounds. it was ridiculous. It wasn't the biggest fish I'd reeled in. But yeah, just to let y'all know, hopefully we won't have any more issues.
We talked about it, and Scotty and Jimmy about maybe maintenance on all of them.
Yeah, clean them all.
Rotating so many
Yeah,
years.
get them all cleaned out.
Because they've never been cleaned
No,
out.
and they're the only ones that can pump them all the way dry. To the bottom. There ain't no septic service around here that can pump them, that has enough hose to get all the way to the bottom. It's just a great big vacuum truck with a hydraulic arm. It's got added sections of stainless pipe or aluminum. They just keep putting sections on it till it automatic, it's got a little remote control like a video game that he does his thing, and he pushes it all the way down and pulls all that stuff out, and they block the lines off where more can't fill into it. So they get everything that's there, and then all the sludge, and then they'll deflate it's like a balloon that they put in the line that inflates to stop the sewage from keeping on coming into it. I've learned a lot.
Well, is that something we need to look at doing then?
I would
In
recommend
the
it.
next budget,
Let's say one every year. I mean, it wasn't really that bad. We could probably do 2 or do them all if it needed.
Have every so many years.
If we put the money in the budget.
Or just depend,
But, like I said, it was really just the clarity, being able to see something like that and knowing that we was finna spend, I was ready to spend $100,000 on a new lift station just to keep sewage from backing up to somebody else's house when it was a $3.50 tube before from Shelley.
Yeah, well, I like hearing it, all the trouble that would have been at Rixie's, maybe that would do.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's just overloaded. You know, I think it's everything from that end of town to the railroad tracks is going to that one lift station, and it just can't handle it. Because it can pump it up so far, but then it's waiting on the gravity to flow everything else to the lagoon, and you got north of town of the railroad tracks all coming together, and it all is bottlenecked right there in that one spot. But it still, it could be a solution for something. It could help something. No. Then we got, let's see, submitted pre-treatment on semi-annual report for TKE on 4/24. And 17 at one locates. Let's see, we pumped 2,706,900 gallons. And we had 6.583 in an unaccounted water loss. Basically 178,000 gallons of unaccounted for water. Any questions or comments on the utility reports? All right, next, so the price we approved for BAM to come out and pull the lift station at the lagoon. Well, once we got the bill, it was more than what our initial quote was that we approved at the council meeting. It was still an emergency, we still had to have it done, and like I said, we've got multiple bills. Let's see. Since the board meeting, BAM has sent an invoice in the amount of $5,979.36 dated 4/3 for work that was performed 2/20/24 and 2/21/24 for the service call and pulling the pump to establish the issue with the pump. Then there's an invoice dated 4/23 that was received in the amount of $21,902, which is the original estimate that was dated 3/4 for the actual rebuild. That's what we approved. Then the invoice dated 4/23/24 in the amount of $3,102.92 for extensive electrical troubleshooting. So we need a motion to approve the additional invoices based on an emergency situation. All invoices have been paid, pumps are operating, and total cost being $30,984.28.
So moved.
Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. At the March 18th meeting, ordinance 2024-05, the occupational safety and health program plan. We had it up for second reading. Jimmy sent it to Tennessee OSHA. They informed him that all 20 pages were to be included with that ordinance. Therefore, we have the ordinance back on the table, and we have to approve the first reading again for all 20 pages. So, I'm not gonna read it. But it is ordinance number 2024-05 amended. So I have a motion to approve that for the first reading.
We'll make the motion to approve ordinance number 2024-05 amendment.
All right, I got a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
I have a question.
All right,
After we pass it, or after it becomes effective, we have to appoint a safety director.
already got one.
We do. Good enough.
Yeah, we did that when all this started. We just didn't have all 20 pages. We were following the rules. We just didn't have all the paper attached. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. The employer contribution rate for TCRS is recommended to remain at 9.92% for the fiscal year, July 1, 24 through June 30th, 25. Is there a motion to approve this rate?
I move we approve the rate 9.92%.
I will second.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Next, certified tax rate of 0.6803 per $100 assessed, or per $100 of assessed value, same as last year. Is there a motion to approve this tax rate for the 2025 fiscal year?
So moved.
Motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. All right, next, we have the first reading of ordinance 2025-01.
Number 11.
Oh, did I miss it? Oh, first reading of budget amending ordinance 2024-06. This pretty much is making all of our accounts balance for the end of the year with our overruns or shortcomings, you know, basically making it balance.
I move to approve, ordinance number 2024-06.
I got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. It makes me feel good that y'all trust me enough to not go through and question a lot of it.
I'm just realistic too, that I probably wouldn't understand half of it.
It's all legit,
I was about to say, I know y'all all went.
unless Jimmy made some typos, it's all legit. Next, we got the first reading of ordinance 2025-01, the annual fiscal budget. So it looks like the total revenues projected is 2.653 million. And the total expenditures is 2.433 million. So,
I will make a motion that we approve the reading of ordinance 2025-01, the annual fiscal budget.
we got a motion? Do I have a second?
Second. All these ordinances have second readings, right?
Correct.
Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Next is the annual capital expenditures ordinance 2025-02. Got that one? Yeah, I don't need it. I was saying, I just don't have it right now. We tried to guess on what we would buy next year on capital expenditures.
I move we approve ordinance number 2025-02.
Got a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Oh, there it was, it was just out of order. All right, next is ordinance 2025-03. It's the annual utility rates. And as y'all may know, we did have a water, sewer, and gas rate study. And they told us basically we needed to raise it 11% to this year and 11% next year.
Wow.
I'm
Oh.
sure we'll have happy constituents then.
So, which, it's not, you know, we done some basic figures on the minimum bill. It really wasn't that much of a difference, you know.
You wanna know roughly what they came out like?
Yes, sir.
On the minimum bill, like right now, coming out 43.42, and then with the 11% increase, okay, going from 43 to 48.
Is that water and sewer?
Yeah, water and sewer,
And
no gas.
No gas.
no gas and no garbage pickup.
No, garbage pickup was on there.
Yeah, but not at the new rate.
Still be under $50.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like with somebody using 4,000 gallons, okay, their bill right now would be 76.74, and then going to 87. So, have to find that $10, you know, from somewhere else.
Yep, save water and shower together. All right, so y'all see the new
So
rates
all of
there?
this is amendable before the second reading, if we need to amend it, we can amend it at the next meeting.
Yep.
So what about on the gas rates, is it recommend changing those in?
Did not, so we're good there.
That's good.
In layman's terms, how do they figure this out? Like,
They're based on, they take what all we're doing, all the improvements, the depreciation, the cost of operation, and our deficit. So we run in a deficit pretty good this year on the water and sewer system. Right now, we're on track to run in a deficit next year on the water and sewer system without an increase. I don't know how they work their magic and figure exactly 11% is gonna keep us from running in the negative without any major repairs that we don't foresee. But just for what we've got right now, I mean, you know, we've had constant issues with the lagoon, with lift stations, and
It's pretty much for it to pay for itself.
and if it does not, then the state will come in and they will set their own rate and they will run our system.
That's what I'm worried about.
That's what I thought, we were
So-
supposed to make it.
We gotta stay in black.
Yes,
Yeah. See, ain't that the same problem?
that's why I like the rate study,
Yeah.
is because that's not us just guessing what we think it should be to make a profit. That's them telling us, you know, that's engineers sitting down with their pen and paper and calculator and looking at all of our total assets and the cost and depreciation, like I said, everything.
Well, as much as I hate to, I will make a motion that we approve ordinance number 2025-03, annual utility rate.
I got a motion, do I have a second?
I second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. All right, next to see Dogwood Apartments, account 2-1766. We received the utility payment 419, postmark 45, asking for a credit of late charges, water, sewer, and sanitation for a total of $3.02. I have a motion to adjust account
I'm making a
2-1766.
motion to adjust account 2-1766.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Same thing for account 2-1767 in the amount of 81 cents.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Next, account 2-1771, late charges for $4.11.
I'll move we,
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Same situation with account 2-1773 in the amount of $3.62.
I move that we adjust account number 2-1773.
Got a motion?
second.
And a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Next, another one late, postmarked on time, but received late, 2-1774 was account number in the amount of $4.55.
Move we adjust, second.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Next is another one, account number 2-1775 in the amount of $7.96 in late charges.
Move we adjust.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Next is account number 2-1776. Same situation, the amount of $2.94 in late charges.
I'll move we adjust.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Next is another one, account 2-1777 in the amount of $2.87 in late charges.
I'll move we adjust.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. And another one, account number 2-1778 in the amount of $3.89 in late charges.
Move we adjusted.
Got a motion?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
And they continue.
And again, account 2-1779 in the amount of $5.47 in late fees.
Move we adjust.
That's a motion, do I have a second? And all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Not to be facetious, but the account numbers that are missing.
They had credits, cause there are 21 of them. But they had credits,
Okay.
so they didn't.
Good question.
I'm just counting as we're going. Yeah.
Account 2-1781 in the amount of $3.49 in late charges.
I move we adjusted.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Let's have it. Account number 2-1782 in the amount of 13 cents.
I move we adjust.
I got a motion
I'll second.
and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Let's have it. Account number 2-1784. Same situation in a total of $4.69 in late fees.
Move we adjust.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Let's have it again. Next is account number 2-1785. Same situation for $2.93 in late charges.
I move we adjust.
You got a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Sure.
All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Let's have it. Account number 2-1785. Same situation for $2.93 in late charges. Did I just do that?
Yes, sir.
Is there any public comment for matters remaining items on the agenda?
I need all that for Terry, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, so after we haven't heard any updates on the plans for the park.
Well, we have started, tearing down fencing down the highway. Right now, grass is kind of getting behind, so I'm focusing on that right now, and as soon as we can get, before the end of this month, I plan on having all the ball field fenced down, possibly the tennis court. And then I'll have to figure out if we're gonna dig up or cut down the bushes down the road, every other one. We're trying to get rid of every other one, because they're so thick, the walking trail's gonna go right down the side of them. Yeah, I'm already catching it for the women's club.
Jackie told him not to put them that close together.
Well,
He said he did anyway.
yeah, well, they are, you can't mow between them.
A lot of extra
And
beauty.
they're so big, the walking trail is gonna come right up to them, because there's not enough fence between the lights and the tennis court, but not enough room for the walking trail, because it's gotta be, so many feet wide by, ADA standard. So it's gonna put the walking trail right up against them. So I'm gonna have to really trim them back and then pull up every other one.
And the roots, the way they grow, could mess up the walking trail eventually.
Yeah.
I would like to
That
make another
close.
request that we look at the ditch on Little Road there, and I've got water standing
Still.
still. I got stuff
I do
this
too.
afternoon. Yeah, but I mean, mine's been there, that, Jimmy, it's been there basically year round.
Yeah.
We did go by there the next day after the last meeting, and it was down so much they were not able to get a sample.
I agree, but it still doesn't drain.
Yeah.
It hasn't since that gas line was put in, how many years ago that's been. That ditch used to flow, and it has not now for probably 15
You're
years.
talking about the ditch down the side of the
Right,
road.
right
to
on the
big
side, right on the
ditch.
side of the road, and when the city messed it up, I feel like the city should fix it, but it does not drain, and that water stands in our yard, and we have issues with mosquitoes most of the summer. It has not been fixed now for 12, 15 years, ever how long that gas line's been in there.
Yeah, since 2014, for 10 years.
Okay, 10 years,
At least you don't have a spring in your yard, like some of us do.
Well, we have had that twice, which
Yeah.
is not added to it, but I just know, I mean, when people, if two cars are meeting no wider than that road is, they get in our yard and they run up the yard, and that's something
It's
that
always
needs to be
wet.
addressed, yeah, it's just always wet.
All right, anything else?
I will make a motion if we adjourn.
I got it. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.